Spoken word, I just wanted just me and my voice, nothing else. Yeah. This one's gonna have the lens cap on it because I want it to. Okay. I just wanted to be heard. You have no idea how long I've been on this bench. Bent in anger, saved by a savior, when in winter season angry and broken, fingers frozen, noses blowing, nothing growing, all but knowing of a savior, but only ever tried to sew myself shut, words flowing from guts as if I was made of literature herself, words wrapped around themselves, around every pillar and every beam, as if words were me and I were them, writing into endless hours of pain that I couldn't abstain. All I wanted was for the little girl's screams to be heard from the world. Writing spoken words to try to send a message, but it wasn't heard. Everything was blurred, consciousness compared and declared by the world around her. Look, you don't have talent. Endured every punch from society, the way the teachers lied to me, telling me I'm next to nothing. I switched up from doing what I loved to being something more that I'm not, just because it's what I thought I'd have to be just to get seen. I screamed and said that I was queen. I was talking about defeating my rage, but it only ever consumed me. Speaking of a poetic journey like I had completed what the Lord had brought forth to me, wanting to be like NF, Nate, but just came everything that I hate. The way that he spat his words, I wanted people to see my words and my bars and feel impounded, astounded with what they are hearing, that I'm more than just a mirror reflection of a person worth knowing. I wanted to be something that mattered to more than just the birds, that I would be looked at something worthy of being listened to, that the people that spoke ill of me would finally understand how much I've stranded on a remote island, barely floating, hoping there was more to life than wishful thinking, sinking to the near bottom of the ocean of my tears, fears that ripped me clean, and people continued to say my problems were not real. That would steal the words from the lips of actual survivors, that I would only ever be a liar. Words carefully crafted like a boat, only to float across the cavern of lost hope, and words made of burning soap that runs in the sockets of these eyes is how the burning in my chest would feel. I would cry until my chest would burst open from the tears that fell from the cracks of these eyes, and people still said, "You're full of lies." Clearly, I could never hurt myself, they said. I never would be so outspoken about it. The dancing too did stop, and the burning feeling upon my chest could only ever possibly be fake, for my issues are clearly transparent. It's apparent my suffering was not great enough to write about. To tout on the things I've gone through would only ever make someone else jealous on how I was slaying my demons in the form of a savior, never having much of a mentor. My entire life story can be summed up in one phrase: get out of my way, I'll do it myself. I went like a blaze across the night sky, tired of people holding me down. I wanted my crown, knowing I was more than what people had assumed. They presumed I was consumed into sin, and it was amusing how these religious people decided things about me. And my defiance, I walked away from heaven's gate, wanting more and to make my own fate. Beaten and bruised from the wounds that oozed so open and free for everyone to see, it was my way of crying. If I didn't know about an eternity or the love of my Savior, I too would have gone to the cavern of sorrow, jumped across the abyss of godlessness, if I hadn't known of the Savior's love. But even still, the darkness grabbed me. The darkness, and I wrestled for a time, my spirit sleeping, the rage within me agreeing with itself. I thought I could do this all myself, and I could win. I had been doing this in my life since 10. How hard could it be now? The life this little girl saw, beaten and bruised from the fists that were meant to educate, only made her hate. The pain that I speak of, once burning in my chest, was spent years believing I could do this all myself. From a life-threatening surgery to almost dying in the hospital, I survived that, didn't I? Words compiling into lies that would believe in, soaked in demons that would come into the night to rip me to pieces, and I still thought I was unworthy of Jesus. They said I was only deceiving, acting like my very own demon when I tried to tell them they were attacking me while I slept. They stepped up with their hands on my throat, sleep paralysis. My consciousness was under attack. As a matter of fact, I tried to fight them on my own. Bullied at a young age, never taking the stage, always lesser than anyone else who was born with talent. Telling stories around the fire, attention and love was all I required. Tall tales that spun into controlling lies that I had believed about myself. Missing the mark of what was considered success. Bullied for the tears on my chest. Bullied for the face that was too beautiful. Jealousy, hate, and all but left feeling fake. Like ruins of Rome, tossed away from my home, not worthy of a savior, destined for hell, marked soul for sale, dual-minded and able to fight, but clawed out of the pit that tried to take her, and took the hand of her savior.